welcome to the show. Again, we thank God that you can view the show, whether it's in your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, or any other area in your home. We're excited to bring you D.A.P Ministries Presents. I'm your host, the Reverend Willie Williams Jr. Excited about the information that we're going to give you. But we also, in commemoration of Hurricane Katrina, I think some people got an opportunity to go down to the Lower Ninth Ward. We're still celebrating, but we're still asking people to go down to see the devastation, and they can realize the restoration that the Lord is going to do in that area. There's some good news that businesses are going down there. We need more houses and more occupants to go down there and live, and we need to do away with a lot of the blighted property as well as the blighted lots. But tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your relatives, tell those individuals that come down to visit, go down there and see and pray for that area coming back up. There are a lot of things that are there, but there need to be more things. There need to be more schools. Again, we thank God for our co-host, the Reverend Darrell Smith, also known as D.K. Smith. He has a saying that goes like this.
That's right. From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., I'll take you home in style with a smile.
He's known as the PM pastor because he has his finger on the pulse of what's taking place not only locally, nationally, but he has a global effect. Tell the people how you reach out and touch people globally.
That comes from being on YouTube and also on Facebook, but I emphasize YouTube, that the show that they're seeing can be seen on YouTube. All they have to do is go to youtube.com and get into the search engine and look up D.A.P Ministries TV show. We're still over 200 shows that's in the can, so to speak. And so we have subscribers in Italy, Romania, Afghanistan, and locally, of course, Chicago and wherever. So wherever they can get online, they can see what we have here. I wanted to say something else as far as, like I said, living room, bedroom, kitchen, wherever they go. So whether they're on their desktop, their laptop, their notebook, tablet, or even on their smartphone, wherever they can get online, they could view this and other shows.
Now, I know you got some announcement, but before you go to your announcement, you can say that, but I definitely seen some of the pictures of a person that you're responsible for her from moving all the way from Chicago.
How you see the pictures? You said you saw pictures.
I seen pictures.
Oh, okay, yeah. A friend of mine,
she was on a motocycle.
Right.
You forgot?
Yeah, I did show you, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way I could see the picture. You had to show them to me.
A friend of mine, Karen Harris, and believe you me, she will say, I heard my name because she looks at the show.
Well, I'm telling you, that was exciting to see her on that motorcycle.
She came down for that.
She's a former policeman.
Former police officer in Chicago, and she came down with the President Clinton's address that he did for the 10-year Katrina commemoration, and so she did what I wouldn't have done. She asked the lady motorcycle and said, "Can I get on your motorcycle?" So.
Policemen got privileges.
Yeah.
Even if you're ex-police.
Yeah.
But I know you had. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to say something else as far as that's concerned. We want to give our condolences to the family and friends of Reverend Dr. Jessie Prophet, who passed on last week, and funeral arrangements have not been known, but once they are, we'll share with you. And of course, with the First District Association, that's what it was.
I think it's
Ideal. Ideal Association, and of course, Stronger Hope Baptist Church. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him. Now, to go out to the family, I do have a couple of announcements on this end. Just let everyone know that Gospel is Alive concert is going to be happening Sunday, September the 27th at the St. John Institutional Building. That's at 2528 Jackson Avenue. And they'll be featuring the Echo Airs of Memphis, Tennessee, the Mighty Travelers of Dallas, Texas, along with New Orleans' own God's Sons and the Southern Bells. And they also will be honoring Sister Ruby Ray of the New Orleans Spiritualettes. And if they need more information, they can contact Deacon Frank B. Stewart at 504-235-1033. And again, that's Gospel is Alive concert. And you ain't got to worry about me singing because we know that already.
You're soloist.
I sing so low you can't hear me. That's right. Huh? And then the Change in the Generation Full Gospel Baptist Church in Boutique, they'll be having their Women's Day. And that's going to be Sunday, September 27th, 9 a.m., and celebrating Women's Day. The speaker will be Elder Lynette Dole from the Greater St. Stephen Full Gospel Baptist Church. And Changing the Generation Boutique is located at 14271 Highway 90 in Boutique, Louisiana. Elder Chris Janot is the pastor, senior pastor, and Elder Central Janot is the co-pastor. And so I just wanted to make mention of those announcements. We got a couple of announcements that's coming up. But I want to introduce our guests.
Why don't you do that?
Introduce our guests because we would know that we're involved with ministry, and this young man and his wife is here. I want to introduce Minister Oron Hill and his lovely wife, Sister Deidra, Jessie Hill, and you're a barber, I understand, by profession, but you're a minister as well.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right,
sir.
pray as you cut my hair. Yeah.
What happened?
Doing the
I
work
said,
of God.
Well, not my hair, but pray as he cut your hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he can do something with, if he's a barber, he can do something with you.
Trim a mustache and everything, yeah. But I did say it right. You have a profession as far as the barber, but you also could combine that to ministry.
It's a ministry.
Yes. Our atmosphere in the shop is, first of all, the shop is at 2 locations, K&O's Barbershop, 5616 4th Street and 6541 Lapalco Boulevard, both in the Marrero area. But our main focus is an atmosphere of God, helping and nurturing young people who would like to become entrepreneurs in this barber and beauty salon industry. That's our focus. That's what Deidra and I are most focused on, giving God the glory and helping others, giving back to those less fortunate.
Tell our guests, TV guests, how does that work? Because when you say entrepreneurs and becoming barbers, and it seems like work to me. And look, that's a good thing because the Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat.
Yeah.
And so that is part of what we do in ministry.
Right.
Ministry is serving, and so we're working to help people not only to know God, but to know those gifts that God has already given to them.
Right. Well, not just in the African American culture, but in most youth in the New Orleans metropolitan area, there's a lack of instruction, direction, discipline, and things of that nature. So God has blessed myself and Deidra to accomplish certain levels of education and know-it-all so that we can get down and make ourselves available to them. So we combine structure, the nurturing that we've accomplished and gathered to help pull them up and giving them direction in the area of etiquette, barbershop etiquette, teaching them the ins and outs, bookkeeping, things of that nature, those intricate things that are not being taught in everyday society. We're hands-on, an incubator system that allows them to get the mannerism and value the craft of barbering, to let them know it's not just about money. Things of that nature.
It's a career, really, if you think about it, because, I mean, not to say that I still do it, but I worked as a cook.
Okay.
But up until, and I told the manager where I was at, I said, and I was cooking for like 15 years, and I told him, I said, I lost the love of cooking, so much so that it became a job. I didn't say I didn't lost the love of eating.
You didn't love it?
I said I lost the love of cooking.
Right.
And so when I told him I gave my resignation, he more or less said, well, you're giving up a career. I said, it doesn't matter. It's not here. It wasn't here.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying, that, you give them the understanding of passion. How long have you been barber?
I've been a barber starting in my mom's front house, in the front of my mom's home, 27 years. I've been licensed 19. Believe me, I've seen a lot, but the one thing that you've made mention to is very important, that if the love is gone,
you're not going to
move on to something else.
Yeah, you're not going to be successful in it because you're doing it in this drudgery. Now, before we move on, because we need to hear about Deidra as well, give us a contact number so somebody may be watching the show and they may need to know more about how to get involved with your program. 504-710-1081.
And I say again, repeat that number.
504-710-1081.
And Deidra, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, because I know you're working with your husband in ministry, but you do something as well.
In addition to working with my husband, I oversee the HIV testing program, which is called NOLA Knows, and we are gearing up to bring an awareness to the community, as well as any patient that comes into the University of Medical Center of New Orleans. We test them if they choose to be tested for HIV.
And is that testing free?
That testing is free.
Okay. Give us a contact number, because guess what? I need you to emphasize the importance of why testing is so important.
The reason why testing is so important is because there is 1.2 million people in the United States that are affected with HIV. 1 in 8 are unaware. New Orleans has the third largest of HIV in the nation, and we want everyone in New Orleans to know their status. Everyone has a status, and we're asking that you know your status. If you know your status, then you are prone to be less susceptible to pass the conversion of HIV. If you are positive, we can get you into care so that you can live a healthy life.
Now, here's a question before you get that phone number out. The other issue is dealing with the stigma of HIV and why would people don't want to be tested?
I understand in New Orleans, we're predominantly African American. 76% of African Americans are HIV positive only because it's a close-knit community. And we need everyone to be knowledgeable of their status only because if you don't know, they're passing it on to individuals that are directly or immediately next to them without even knowing it. So we're at a disadvantage when we have the community that doesn't want to know their status, or they feel as though they're going to be stigmatized. We work with you if once you've identified. If you don't want to get tested at the hospital, we can get you to local areas that do testing, as well as you can get treatment outside of the New Orleans area. But we just want to make sure if you are identified that you actually get treatment and stay in treatment.
Now, here's a question: is testing anonymous?
We will do anonymous testing on September 26th. Anytime that you come into the hospital, it is not anonymous testing. However, there is a clinic, which is called the University of Medical Center Infectious Disease Clinic inside of the new hospital that does anonymous testing.
So your anonymity, it can be protected if you
choose to. If you don't want anyone to know, we can direct you. We have resources where we can get you to get anonymous testing.
We had
Right.
the lady from Africa.
Right.
She was on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and she couldn't understand why in America, and people have to walk long distance just to get to the clinic, not just for testing, but for all kind of assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I can't understand. America has this system.
Right next door.
People don't take advantage of it.
They don't, and they don't understand that there are resources available if they are identified as being affected that can help them with medication. I think people don't understand that what the resources are available to them, so they just block it out in their mind, and they're just like, I don't want to worry about it, or it's the fear of the unknown.
Well, here's the other question that deals with that. A lot of times we're finding out with more technology and more medical research that people are living longer with HIV/AIDS if they're being treated. Is that the true statement?
That is correct. I would say, I heard a doctor say before, I would rather have HIV than hepatitis C because hepatitis C affects your liver. So there is a cure for the virus. However, if you have been at risk behavior, or if you have been an alcoholic, or things of that nature, you are more prone to keeping the virus instead of having the chance of living a healthy life. Whereas with HIV, science has it where you can take 1 pill a day and you can live a healthy life where it has your viral load where it's undetectable. And with it being undetectable in your body, even if you have a partner or you decide that you want to date, yes, you're going to be upfront with them, but you have less of a risk to pass that on to that person.
Okay.
Might I add that we have to give acknowledgement to one Dr. Lisa Moreno, who is the director of this AIDS program.
Give those accolades out and give us a phone number again. Because we're gonna go. I mean, your wife, of course, because we're about to go to break. But I want that information to go forward, and we'll have another opportunity on the second half to talk a little bit more about it. But you want to get that phone number out?
I do. Dr. Lisa Moreno Walton. She's the director of research at the University of Medical Center of New Orleans. She is the director of the NOLA Knows HIV testing